Hello everyone, welcome to AI Anytime channel. And in this video, we are going to talk about an open source large language models which has been released recently. That's called Open Assistant, and it has been at the first response it's looking great, and we are going to test this tool out. Okay, it's open source, anybody can use it on the internet, and they do have a GitHub repository, so you can set it up locally as well for your development purposes. And they have built a platform. Okay, and this platform is for open source community. You can do the same thing you can do with chat gpt and other large language models. And you know uh, I'm a huge fan of Yannick Kilcher. Okay, I've been following his YouTube channel for many years now, and I think in February this year I watched one of his videos where he was talking about OpenAssistant.io, or the Open Assistant. When we were all looking for some kind of open source model, for this large language models coming in, we have seen GPT-3 and now 4, 3.5, and Chat GPT, for example. And then lately we also saw Facebook released Llama, and Stanford released Alpaca models. There have been multiple large language models has been developed, okay, in the recent time. And this platform that I'm going to show you, and also you can access it, it's completely free on the internet. It's completely revolutionary when I talk about the open source community. The reason is, you can build on top of this, right? You can if you talk about data privacy and governance, because when you are working with OpenAI, at your workplace, you are going to send your data to the third party, right? And most of the time when these large corporates or companies who are working with the clients, they do not want to send their data out of their data center, right? So that's how, this is kind of an, I'll say, an inspiration for all the open source community, that large language models, in the next 5-6 months you will see even better models that you can set it up locally. And that will, infrastructure is always a question, when we talk about these large language models. And nowadays we are seeing the technique, to set up these large language models, in a decent machine, right, locally. You'll see there's a quantization method. There are different methods that we are doing, like pruning, quantization. We are looking at, researchers are working on different kind of data structures and algorithms to optimize these algorithms. And we'll see that eventually these models will be available to set up in your local machine. Now if you see, I am currently on Open Assistant. It's very simple. I'll give the link in the description. It's openassistant.io/dashboard, and you have to go and create an account with your email ID. Okay, once you create an email ID account with an email ID, and when you verified that through your email, it will be directed to this dashboard. If you see the first look on the dashboard, I will talk about the dashboard, but very important, I'll first walk you through the GitHub repository, because as like me, many of you would like to set it up locally, in your machine. If you see, you read, it says Open Assistant is a project meant to give everyone access to a great chat-based large language model, right? And they are trying, as I said, I'm a big fan of Yannick Kilcher, and I think if you read this also, it says Open Assistant can help improve the world by improving language itself. And this is like a stable diffusion moment, guys, right? Because when stable diffusion was launched, it was completely open source. And we have Midjourney, we had DALI, which was kind of paid, like an API service or AI as a service, which was difficult, when I talk about data privacy, governance, and due to different regions, you might not like to use them, right? But you need some open source tool that you can, open source tools or models that you can use it, the way you want to use it. You want to build commercial applications, you can build it using those, right? The main purpose of this current development of Open Assistant or any other large language model, for example, that like Databricks has released Dolly 2.0 as well. I think the main purpose is to create some kind of data set. We have prompts, we have responses. Now we are trying to we are talking about prompt engineering and response validator. How do we create a better, optimized, and bias free data set, or data that can be used further to train large language models? Even if you come down, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Let me just, so I was reading somewhere, see, if you read this, it says the plan is like this. We want to get to an initial MVP, the most viable product, as fast as possible. And if you see the first first paragraph, okay, the first point, it says to collect high quality human generated instruction fulfillment, because all it's are instruction based, right? Instruction fulfillment samples, prompt plus responses, and goal is to greater than 50K. Now the initial plan is to give this tool, to the open source community, and people like us who are working in this community, or even we're not part of this community, they can use this platform to try to do some prompt and then generate some response, and that can be used to train further, that can be utilized to make this model even better in the near future. That's the major plan, guys, and I think that's why we are all in this open source community, to enhance this model. You talk about Stanford Alpaca, you see there are a lot of I think data set has already been created on top of the Alpaca data set. So this is a GitHub repository. They also have given a Docker. I think you can set it up with Docker configuration. There is Docker Compose. You see, this is how you set it up. Okay, if you want to set it up for with the chat and without the chat, please try it. Have a look. But today, what I'm trying to show you in this video is that how the dashboard looks like, and what kind of response it's generating on the specific prompts, and we'll see if the responses are, how good the responses are. And I'm not going to compare this tool with ChatGPT or any other conversational AI or generative AI based platforms. So this is the creator of this tool. Okay, I think they are it says they're based out of Germany, at least from the GitHub repository. If you see, it's a repo of LAION. I don't know how the full form is. Okay, a non-profit organization to liberate machine learning research models and data sets. They have multiple models over here. They have Clip Benchmark, Clap, and different repositories that you can explore. And once you create an account on openassistant.io/dashboard, when you redirect it to the dashboard, you will see the dashboard is like there's a dark theme as well. You can play with this settings. There's a dark theme. Now they have something called contributors. As I was saying, right, it's for open source community, and they want to enhance this tool further, okay, from the one way or the another, and that's how the contributors are contributing to this tool. So there are specific tasks that you can participate. Now if you want to participate in this for example, this cohort, which is classify assistant reply, or reply as assistant. Now if you can become, if you want to reply on some kind of prompts or conversation, you can become an assistant to reply that. Okay, then reply as a user, then you classify prompter reply. So you can participate in this multiple tasks to get points, and the more you participate, more points you will get, and you will feature on this leaderboard. Okay, so this is the first time I'm trying this tool. Okay, I have no points at all. Okay, you see I have 0 points over here, 0 star, whatever you call it. Now then we have something called messages, where you can also communicate. Okay, you can communicate with the community. You have some queries, like we have GitHub issues where we post some issues and we try to solve or debug those things. You can also communicate, and I think it's a very good feature, by the way, this one. And looks like a centralized tool. When I talk about it, see this, I don't know why it's giving me bad gateway, but that makes sense. I've tried using it multiple times. It's a lot of trafficking happening on this this platform, Open Assistant, and you can see 502 bad gateways and those sort of things. And it will take a little time because a lot of people are trying to try this tool currently, and it's been huge traffic to this this one. Now if you see, you come down, they have leaderboard, they have stats, they have guidelines. You have to adhere their guidelines. Please have a look at that. Let me just do a refresh. You can see it's currently saying 500 internal server error. Yeah, so now you see Open Assistant, create a new chat. Now they have an option called create a new chat. Okay, if you click on this, let me just click on create a new chat. Once you click on create a new chat, what it will do, it will open a new chat window for you. Okay, a new chat kind of a window for you, which says untitled. Now once you click on this, let me just click on this. I'll say you can rename this for your memory later on. When you want the history that you see in ChatGPT, you can do that. So in this untitled, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say okay, first chat or something like this. Okay, I'll just do first chat. And now here in this option that you see, you can ask your queries, okay, and you submit, and below we have some details about the inference powered by. So you see Hugging Face is one of the they have enterprises and they have space and hubs where you can deploy your models, and you can perform these inferences. You can integrate this with Hugging Face spaces directly. So this is one of the major integration here with Hugging Face inference API that this platform might be using. In backend, they have Stability AI, which also kind of earlier you saw with Stable Diffusion. Then we have model training supported by. So these might be the sponsors, or some organizations who have supported this platform while training the model. And you can see we are talking about the model here. Which model? So it's Open Assistant Llama 30B. Okay, and these are top K penalties, temperature for controlling the randomness and originality, okay, of the content. And then we have new tokens. You can see it's 1024 as max new tokens. Now let's ask a question. What is the difference between this is my question. What is the difference between AI and machine learning, for example? Now you see, this is the question, and it has the same kind of an UX like ChatGPT kind of provides you this typewriting kind of a thing. It says artificial intelligence refers to computer systems that perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as visual perception, speech recognition, and multiple others. And ML is a subset of AI, that's true, that involves training algorithms on large data sets so they can learn patterns and make without explicitly program. That we have all seen the definition of Arthur Samuel and other pioneers and researchers in past. So now if let's see, okay, but people uses these words interchangeably. Do you have any thoughts on that? I just want to play with some prompt here, guys. Okay, now if I just do, people use these words and with these words interchangeably, and do you have any thoughts on that? Yes, it's true that those two terms, like in industry you see people kind of use this AI and machine learning together or interchangeably, they mix it up. Yes, it's true that those two terms are often used interchangeably by laypersons, but usually when doing so they mean deep learning or some form of machine learning which has been trained in order to mimic some level of intelligence. When talking about artificial intelligence, general intelligence, however, I think this confusion might be less common since AGI is still mostly theoretical at this time. Does this? Let me know if you like to more information. Okay. Yes, this is a good one, but I'm not satisfied by this answer, by the way, for this question. But let's play with it. So now what I will do, I'll say you have. Let me just ask a tricky question here. Okay, you have. Okay, no. Let's ask it. There is a job opening. There is a job opening for a position of nurse. In the hospital. In a hospital. 2 humans. First is a male and the second one is a female. They both performed well, and you as a decision maker, whom will you select for this role? This is my question now. Okay, so I'm asking a question to Open Assistant, the large language model, and let's see what kind of response I'm getting for this question. And they say if both candidates performed well during their interview process, then I would consider factors such as availability to work schedules and how far away they live from the facilities they may cover, as well as their experience before making my decision. As AI cannot tell what qualities could influence your choice. Okay, so it has given me a template response. Okay, or the data that it has been trained on. Because it's a very this question has bias inherent in it. Okay, the question that I asked, the prompt that I made, right, it has bias into it currently. Okay, whom will you select for this role? Okay, very safe answer. That's a good one. Now let's also ask. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so now this is the one set of chat. Okay, one session of chat I will say. Now I'll create a new chat, and let's see what kind of. Okay, I created a new chat, and you see in the left hand side we are getting a similar UX or UI. Now both UI and UX are very similar, like ChatGPT. You have the left hand side histories, and those model details are not there because those are OpenAI is not open source anymore, right? So they don't give you all these details. But when you are subscribing to their premium, they will give you option to select GPT-4, 3, and all those things in ChatGPT platform. I'll ask some questions. Can you list down some of the use cases in sustainable finance? May I ask this question? It says yes. It gives me a few of the use cases for sustainable finance, green bonds, and which are make sense. Whether it's available on internet as well. Now it currently does not have a stop feature. I don't know. It currently does not provide any stop features like you see in ChatGPT and even Claude, okay, which was launched by Anthropic, I think, couple of weeks ago. Okay, so those platforms kind of have this feature where you're going to stop the generation, basically the text generation, if you are not happy with the response. Now let me just see what this setting contains. If you click on this setting, you'll see, okay, you can, so right now currently provides only one model, so you can play with the presets, okay. And then you have, when I click on customs, in customs you can change your all this, parameters for large language models. You can play with the temperature, you can play with the maximum new tokens. By the way, I think max is 1024. I will not go with that, okay. So let's keep it as simple. I'll just go with K50 again back, which is the default. And this is how it looks like we have chat section where you can chat with it, and then we have a dashboard where you can participate in some kind of task. Now let's ask a question. For example, but have no expertise into it. Can you help me with the procedure step by step? Yeah, this is my question. Okay. That's correct. I was expecting this answer, and I'm very happy with this answer. But you can again don't follow the jailbreaking technique, guys. Okay, to play with this open assistant model or any other large language models. Please do not follow jailbreakings and all those to tweak this and try to achieve what you want to achieve with the responses. Now let's ask this question. Write a Python code that will detect noise in an audio file. Now this is let's see what kind of code it generates. Okay, so here is one way you can do this Python Librosa. Okay, we can have a look at Librosa. So it's importing Librosa, and I think it's going to have a look at spectrograms, and through that spectrograms it's going to compute PSD, power spectral density, and then it's kind of giving me there's a noise or not based on some threshold value. You see this high frequency, right, greater than 1000. Cool. Okay, now if I say, okay, write a code to, write a code to generate a CSV file. Write a code to generate a CSV file of fraud transactions using pandas. This is my question. CSV file. Let's see if it can generate some kind of it can generate some code which can help you generate some kind of data set. Okay, data from some random. You see it's using an numpy.random. Now what I want to try also, guys, let's look at a McKinsey article on AI. Okay, artificial, the state of AI in 2022. If I take this one, or let's take this generative AI is here, how tools like ChatGPT could change your business. Let's see if it can use this article to summarize this web page. Okay, I just want to try that. Let's see that as well after this response. So I just wanted to test with few of the prompts. So it's able to generate codes but we still have to test this quality of codes. That will take, it's beyond scope of this video, but we'll, of course, we can test it out, the quality of the codes and other responses as well. But as a high level overview, you can see that Open Assistant is able to generate codes, it's able to generate text like the same way you see with other large language models. And this is completely revolutionary, guys, when I talk about open source large language models. As I always say, functional AI is not everyone's cakewalk. What happened with Llama, alpacas, and those models where it's very difficult to set it up in your local machine, and they do not have a platform like this. We saw Dalai, for example, using Node. We were trying to run it, but these kind of responses that you are getting from Open Assistant is completely outstanding when you compare with open source large language models like Llama and Alpaca as well. This is outstanding. Okay, as a first look, this is completely revolutionary. When you compare with other open source model, I'm not going to compare this with commercial models like GPT-3 or GPT-4, at least for now. Okay, now if I copy this, okay, and I will say, I don't know if it has access to internet, can you summarize this article? Okay, this is my question now. Can you summarize this article? And let me just do a colon, by the way, and or let me just do a question mark here, and I'll just submit. Okay, it says the McKinsey article discusses generative AI and specifically focuses on how these tools understood. Okay, I want to try once more. So what I will do, let it complete. Okay, I'll just do this and I will replace this with generative. Let's see if it's doing it from the title or the URL. What I will do, I will give something in the URL which does not exist. For example, Facebook. What is the format that they use? Okay, Facebook released Elixir model. What should we call it? Okay, let's call it Elixir model. For children, uplifting something. Okay, I'm just writing here. It's uplifting, and let's see. And I will say, can you summarize this web page, or let's say article. I apologize, but I'm unable to find an article from McKinsey. Okay, this is perfect. This is fine. So it's not just reading it from this URL. At least for web pages, I'm not sure about YouTube videos. Okay, I have no idea about YouTube videos. If it can summarize a YouTube video using YouTube libraries like PyTube, for example, or YouTube DL, for example. Can we do that? Let me go back to YouTube. Okay, and I will take. I don't know if I can take which video I can take. Let me take Yannick Kilcher's video itself. Okay, so what I will do, I'll come to his Open Assistant released. Okay, I'll take his video. Okay, I'll just copy this. I'll come back here. Can you give me summary from this video link? Okay, now this is my prompt. Let's see. Okay, can you give me a summary from this video link? Let's see if it has the connection to YouTube videos due to privacy policies. Okay, restriction imposed by Google. Wow, that's fantastic, which prevents scraping content. So what it's doing, it's not scraping the content from like YouTube or those kind of platforms or services. Would you like to summarize something else instead? It's perfectly fine, at least for now, but it's able to scrap the web pages or URLs like we saw in the case of McKinsey for now. So I think it will require a couple of videos, guys. It's very difficult to try to test this tool out in single video, but I just wanted to show you what kind of interface is, how it's looking, what kind of UI UX, and what kind of responses we are getting. You can see fantastic response when you compare to other open source large language models. Now we are in the chat section. You have different languages, guys. So I don't know if this is for the this responses or text in, text out, or is it just for the dashboard? Okay, now if you click on some language, for example, okay, let's click on this. What it does, I I don't see anything changes here, but something like you can ask, or is it just for okay, can you write a story about AI or something? Okay, this is my question. Let's see, this is my prompt. Can you write a story about you? It's giving me the response in English. Okay, so currently I have no idea what this, if you let me know what in the comment box, what do you mean by these languages? Okay, but I will go back to English again, and this is a kind of your settings. You can look at account, and if you have a bug or something, you can also report that. Okay, now what I will do, I'll go back to you can see there is some lag, okay, on this platform, which completely fine. So very recently launched platform, there are a lot of people are trying to test this out. You'll see this traffic and bandwidth. Now this is in the chat section, guys. Now what if you click on the dashboard again? You see I'm back to the dashboard, and I said you can participate in this task. You have this go options, classify assistant reply. If you click on this go, you will see it will load. Okay, let's see. Given the following discussion, provide labels for the final prompt. How long should I sauce white chicken from frozen? 1 point. Okay, this is cool. Rate the highlighted message. You can rate this. You can label this. Basically, you help them label this data. Okay, this is at end. This is completely data. Okay, they would like to use this further for to make it even better, make it even more optimized. As you read that in the plan. Okay, we were talking about this plan here on the first plan. Collect high quality human generated instruction fulfillment samples. Prompt plus response goal is greater than 50K. So you can participate in this. Click on messages. You will be taken to this messages. The community is trying to participate. They're asking questions, communicating. Then we have the leaderboard. You can see the leaderboard daily, weekly, monthly, and then we have the stats. It kind of has some kind of visualization, provides you some kind of data analytics here. Message tree. Okay, this was for language or for messages, by the way. Okay, the language that you see, the messages that we have, this is the language over here. You can play with these languages, and then they have the guidelines. I'm not going into the guidelines, guys. So these are the chat here. You let me know, okay, your findings in the chat, in the comment box, guys. Okay, but the first look, this is fantastic. Okay, this is extraordinary, at least so far. Open Assistant, I really loved it, and we'll try to set it up in your local machine, and we'll see what if you are facing some challenges. I doubt that this will run on a CPU machine. No chance there. I think you need a GPU to run these models. That's why you see the integration with Hugging Face and always there on the inference details. You see there is this is Open Assistant community on Hugging Face. They have 10 models with Pythia 12b, which is by Eleuther AI. Okay, which is again an open source research community. Eleuther AI and Pythia, and you see, I think Dolly 2.0 has been released by Databricks, which is on top of Pythia 13b or 12b, if I'm not wrong. And then you have dataset. They have a dataset here as well. The 27 team members. You see, this is the Yannick Kilcher profile DPA. Okay, you see it over here, and he is a co-founder of Open Assistant as well. Kudos to the team. I really loved it. As I always say, right, functional AI is not everyone's cakewalk. You see, Open AI has a functional AI. They have built this revolutionary chat GPT, and this is not less than that. Okay, Open Assistant. I really loved it. That's all. This is what I wanted to cover in this video, guys. Okay, if you have any thought, or if you have any findings, please let me know. Okay, and we'll see where we go with Open Assistant and how we can use it locally. There will be more videos on this topic. Please stay tuned. That's all for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.